Welcome back to Newsnight with me, Frank Omalapewa, broadcasting live from the nation's capital, Abuja. And to other stories now, the Akwa Ibom State Police Command has launched a statewide enforcement of third-party motor insurance compliance, led by Commissioner of Police Baba Zari. The operation aims to ensure all motorists meet legal insurance requirements, reduce financial risk in case of accident, and during the enforcement exercise, officers checked for valid insurance document and also recorded other violations, including unauthorized use of tinted glass, concealment of number plates, and possession of expired vehicle licenses. While some motorists appreciated the exercise, others requested more time to comply. The police command warned that vehicles without valid third-party insurance will face penalties and urged all motorists to ensure their insurance documents are up to date.
We are here to monitor the enforcement of the third-party insurance compliance in Akwa Ibom State. So far, so good. All the areas we visited, people are complying. Those that have not complied are taken to police station, where they will go and the process of renewal or the process of prosecution will commence, as the case may be. But so far, so good. You have seen it yourself. Akwa Ibom State, they have complied, and this is attributed to the fact that even after the instruction of the Inspector General of Police that we should enforce the third-party insurance, we took it as a proactive measures in Akwa Ibom State to call all the stakeholders for a meeting, the NLC, the TUC, the Road Transport Owners Association, the NURTW, and all other stakeholders for a meeting where we unanimously agreed that they will go back and sensitize their people on the need to have the third-party insurance. So far, so good. You can see our men doing the needful and in a very civilized manner as directed by the Inspector General of Police.
Legal practitioner Abiodun Amole has declared that the Inspector General of Police, Kaude Egbetoku, or any of his officers lack the power to enforce third-party insurance of vehicles in the country. Amole was reacting to the IGP's directive for the enforcement of third-party insurance nationwide, said the action of the police is illegal and unconstitutional. The lawyer said the Police Act is the extant law that strictly regulates the operations and all powers of the police in Nigeria, stressing that an insurance policy is essentially a contract between the insurer and the insured party. It is not the duty of the police to enforce a contract or agreement between parties, he says. Another legal battle may be brewing between the Nigerian police and some lawyers with the ongoing enforcement of the third-party vehicle license compliance. From Benue State to Bauchi, the Federal Capital Territory, and all the states across the country, police officers are enforcing the directive of the Inspector General of Police. Well, let's have this conversation with Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Oba Maduabuchi. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's always a pleasure.
Newsnight.
Yes.
Let's get your perspective on these before we get into even legal and technicalities about these. Why is this policy being enforced at this time, and what does it mean for motorists?
I think my friend Muyiwa will answer that, why they decided now to emphasize
on this.
Because since I started driving vehicles in the early 80s, I've always had insurance. Third party is the least insurance a vehicle is expected to have.
Right.
And it's always been done. There's nobody that owns a car that doesn't have at least third party. What everybody runs away from is the comprehensive insurance, which is very expensive. So when they begin to say enforce third party, it's nothing new. They have not. Everybody has had it. Everybody has it. There's nobody that has a car that doesn't have third party insurance. If I understand the police well, what they're looking for are forged insurance documents. Because most often you go to renew your papers, and these touts outside collect money from you and give you paper, and you walk away.
Right.
That is not an insurance, because there is no company with whom you entered into a valid contract. That money ends up with the typist, that person sitting outside typing the policy give you a receipt, type a policy and give you, the money ends with him or her. There is no company that you've entered into a contract with. I, for one, if I renew my vehicle, any of the particulars of my vehicles, I wait until I get an alert on my phone, then I will know it is genuine. So if you say you've renewed my papers and it does not alert me, tell me your papers have been renewed, your insurance has been renewed, I will know it is fake. Apparently, that's what the police are looking for. But if it is insurance, what's the business of the police?
Okay, so because some lawyers have said, I mean, insurance is a contractual agreement between the insurer and insured. So,
yes.
So bring the legal understanding into this. Does the police have the power to enforce what is essentially a civil contract, as it were?
Once again, I'll put it in this perspective. When insurance is a contract between an individual and an insurance company.
Right.
That basically. The police has no power to say enter into contract with a particular person or not. But where it is a legal requirement that for you to have your vehicle on the road, you must have a third-party insurance, at least, so that when you injure somebody or you have an accident with another car, there will be a body that can cushion the effect. The business of the police is to ensure that you comply with that legal requirement.
Right.
It is not for police to tell you the company you must enter into contract with or how you are going to. That is why it is optional. Some of us do comprehensive, but if you want to do comprehensive, I think it's about 50% of the cost of the vehicle. So that is why people go for third party. But the police can only limit themselves to checking if an insurance paper is genuine or not. The police has no business with finding out whether the thing has expired or not. That is for the VIO. The business of the police is to prevent crimes, arrest criminals, prosecute them. Their business is not enforcement of contract. The business of the VIO is to ensure that your vehicle is roadworthy. Part of that roadworthiness is that your papers are up to date. It is not the business of the police. If you are driving a vehicle and your papers are expired, but the vehicle belongs to you, the police has no business with you. It is the VIO that they should hand you over to. The police does not renew papers. When you renew papers in the VIO's office, you cannot walk into the IG's office and say, I want to renew my papers. It doesn't happen. It is the VIOs that renew papers, give you driver's license. It's like the other group, the Federal Road Safety. Federal Road Safety, when they came, they were swollen-headed because most of them were policemen. They thought they had power to do everything. But we reminded them, my friend, this is Federal Roads Safety. Federal roads. If I see you on state road, I want to obey you. You are limited to federal roads.
Okay.
Yes. What your business is to ensure.
Yeah.
So police has nothing.
But you talk about the VIO.
Yes.
But is there any provision in the law that also recognize, the roles of the VIO in checking, some of these documents that you talk about?
Yes. That is the Road Transport Directorate Establishment Act. That's a road, but it's in the concurrent legislative list.
Right.
The federal government can legislate on it. The state governments can legislate on it. You understand? So both the state and federal can legislate on it because it's on the concurrent legislative list. Many states have legislated. The federal government has legislated. So that is why you have VIOs, federal VIOs, they wear white. If you go to Kaduna, they don't wear white because they are not federal VIOs. You understand it?
Right.
So the VIO, the Vehicle Inspection Officer, whether federal or state, has the power, is the only person that has the power to decide whether your insurance is expired or not.
Right.
Whether your vehicle is roadworthy or not. If you are going to Kugbo, you will see their office on the left, where you go and they will test your vehicle and give you a roadworthiness certificate. Police cannot give you roadworthiness certificate.
Right. By my understanding, of course, like you said, the responsibility of checking vehicles and papers, document rests with the VIU and, of course, the Federal Road
Yes,
Safety.
the
But
road safety,
there's
yes.
also, Section 49 of the Police Act of 2020, give a kind of soft landing, specifically with provision that they could check, vehicle for reason of stolen vehicles and all of that. But can we say this case particularly in terms of compliance, can they check for compliance and can they be exonerated, for checking, even though this is about third-party enforcement? Can we say police can also help in that case?
That's what-
Is this case in particular unique?
That's why I told you from beginning that the only thing the police can do with respect to third-party insurance is to check whether the certificate is genuine.
No, I'm saying can they leverage
They
on
cannot
that
leverage on
to
that.
also ensure that there is compliance with this third-party
No, nobody
insurance?
gave them that power.
Because I know that a lot of motorists, when it comes to compliance, they are very, very rigid, and adamant in terms of complying with
Yes,
some of
but
these
that
insurances.
the police.
But can the police help in this
No,
case?
the police has no. The police has no business. Even Section 49, which you referred to, it is to ensure that the vehicle you are driving is your own. The particulars are not forged or stolen, and that they are genuine. That is just all. That is why the police, when they want to be responsible, they will not mind whether your vehicle paper is expired or not. We've had occasion where maybe I've been with some senior police officer and they say we brought him because of paper. The paper is genuine. Yes, leave him to go now. Let's ask him to go and renew it. That is what senior officers do.
Well, are you saying that, the enforcement has started? It started, 1st of February.
Yes.
And it started across. In short, we saw the enforcement in Akwa Ibom State already going on. Yes. So what they are doing now, are you saying it is illegal?
It's outside the purview of their responsibilities. They don't have the right.
Okay, let's look at traditional. Of course, you talked about the Federal Road Safety Corps earlier, which is responsible for checking documents and all of that. But this
on federal roads.
On federal roads. But
Yes.
does this new directive by the police create a conflict of roles, or is there a legal distinction between their enforcement of power between the police now? Because as at today, they have started, enforcing it. So does it create a conflict of role between the two agencies?
Obviously, the Road Safety Act gave all that responsibility to the Road Safety Corps, not to the police. The police has nothing to do with checking particulars. We will never tire to say it. There's nothing. This thing they do on the road is because nobody wants to waste time. Say, give me your papers. They don't have the right. The only thing they ought to do there is this thing genuine? You remember there was a time the former Commander General of FR Road Safety wanted to buy something that you don't need to carry papers with you. Once they flash their equipment across it, it will tell whether your papers are genuine or not. That is, and Muyiwa has said that the police are coming about to get something like that. That is all police needs to do. Are these papers genuine? If they are forged, that's a crime. Police can arrest you for carrying forged documents. But if they are genuine but they expires, police has no business with it. They have no business.
Let me get your opinion. I'm sure this enforcement is coming in the light or in the wake of, recent accident, and to ensure that the cars on the road are road worthy, to fly on our road. So, in your legal opinion, do you think, is this police enforcement under the current law, or does it require, do you think there should be a legislative review to clarify enforcement rules at the moment, just to drive down, the rate of incidents and accidents on our roads?
No, you see, the question of accidents is always unfortunate, especially when it involves loss of life. Like the one now people are telling us, 40 people died, I think, in Ogun State or Ondo State. It's always unfortunate. And that is why there should be an insurance. If there is third-party insurance, the family of those people that died can sue. And the the owner of that vehicle will call his insurance to say, your duty has come. Please, these people are making claims from me. The insurance company will check, did you pay your premium? Are you up to date? Is there anything wrong? What about the person driving? They will do their own investigation, their own due diligence. And when all that is done, then ordinarily what the insurance company does is to negotiate with those who are making the claims, and they agree on something, and some compensation is paid. But that will not justify the police straying into the sphere of the VIO and the Federal Road Safety Corps. They have nothing to do with whether your vehicle paper is expired or not. You know, this is a carryover from when it was only Nigerian police we had, and they were enforcing the road traffic regulations, RTR. Now, those ones, you enforce a regulation when there's no substantive law on it. There is now substantive law setting up road safety. There's substantive law setting up road transport directorate. So the subsidiary law, which is the RTR, disappears.
All right. Before I let you go, let me get your reactions on what protection does third-party insurance actually offer for motorists? I mean, because a lot of people do not understand. And how do we create awareness around this, this policy?
Yes, you see, the most important insurance policy any motorist can have is third party. Because when we say third party, it means the first party is the insurance company, right?
Right.
The second party is the insured. These are the two parties. Now, the owner of the vehicle tells the insurance company tells the owner of the vehicle, I am going to take responsibility for the second 200,000 or 20 million damages which you might incur in case of an accident. But the first one you take care of, right? Now, and that occasions only when a third person, somebody outside the two contracting parties. That is why it's this third party. Maybe my driver is driving my car and he has an accident with another person. That other person is the third party. He's driving and he knocks down a woman selling pure water. That woman is the third party. That's why we say that the most important insurance document you must have in your vehicle is the third party insurance. And that was why when the RTR was still being used, the police will say, at least show us third party. So it is very, very important, very, very, very important that every vehicle has a genuine third party insurance. Third party. Because that is where, if you crash my car, I can walk away. If my driver crashes my car, I can walk away. If I'm going and suddenly it burns, I can go home. But if I have somebody in the car and the car burns and either injures him or kills him, God forbid, it will be my responsibility to pay recompense. That is when the third party, because he is the third party. Being in my vehicle, he's not a party to the contract, but he has been affected by my own act of driving, or the car getting an accident, or the car being burnt, or whatever. So he must be compensated. And that is when I now call upon my insurance to say, see, it's time for you to walk. I had this accident, and this is what they're claiming. So that is it about the third party.
I think it's a good policy. Perhaps the police, like you said, which of course has gone in the way of legality, will have to maybe review their approach to enforcement. Thank you so much for your time. Oba Maduabuchi is a senior advocate of Nigeria. Thank you for providing insight on this particular matter.
It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.